Well, hello. I know it's been a while, but there just has not been too much progress, so I didn't feel like there was a need for a video. But I came out to pick some green beans, and I did notice that I have a lot more red cherry tomatoes, and they are beautifully red. Very nice. The green tomatoes are probably that one there, that big one. That's probably ready to pick. I don't like to let them get red because I use them, as fried green tomatoes. So I might just pick that one today. I'm not sure if I'll let it, I might let it go a couple more days, but I don't want it to start getting red. And I think it's like on the verge of trying to get red. So I might go ahead and pick that one. But to my surprise, I have a zucchini. I did not think that I was going to get any zucchini this year, but there is one, and it's a nice one. So I'm pleased with that. And I got some squash that I see has pollinated successfully. Probably a couple more there. And down there. So I think I'll have some pretty nice squash. The pepper that I planted in the pot is very, very beautiful. The growing stem is so healthy and thick. The leaves are so green. My peppers over there in the ground are not looking that good. Not as good as that one anyway. My cucumbers, I still don't have any, and I don't even see any female flowers yet. I seen one, but it doesn't look like it got pollinated. So that one didn't make it. I'll have to keep an eye out for the female flowers so that if I have to, I'll pollinate it myself. This was a volunteer tomato. It's pretty tall. I might stake that one. I don't know. I think it's a beefsteak. But yeah, that was my surprise for me. This big one here was a zucchini. Is a zucchini, I should say. And I'm not sure if I'll get anything out of that one. This one back here looks like it's got a little powdery mildew on it. And that's probably because I feel like I had kind of given up on them. So I had stopped pruning. And you see what happens after rain and humidity. There is some powdery mildew there. So I might have to get some pruning done. But another delightful discovery. I have a bunch of sugar babies coming in. There's one there. Another one there. Up here we have one. And if we go over a little bit, there's one there. There's a couple there, one up there and then one down there. There's a tiny one trying to come in right there. Over here. Over here. Lots of them. I haven't found anything on the cantaloupe yet, but I'm not giving up on it. So it looks pretty healthy. So we'll see what happens with that. The potatoes look like they are starting to wilt, which is a sign that it's almost time to harvest. So that's exciting. It's almost time for purple magic potatoes, I think it's called. They're like little fingerlings. The peppers are starting to finally get red. The gypsy peppers, those are sweet peppers. These are more tomatoes. Nice looking tomatoes here. Nice tomatoes here. The farmers market down from my house is having a raspberry fest August 25th. So I'm hoping that my raspberry will start producing some more raspberries by then too. The Japanese beetles got to it a little bit and they did get some chewing done. And I might just have to prune those beat up leaves off. But otherwise it's looking pretty healthy. Lettuces I really have not been doing much with. But they've still been growing and they look really good. I might harvest some of that red lettuce. Hopefully it's not bitter because of the heat. That was one reason why I didn't bother with it, because I think I had tasted some of the bib, the green, and it was kind of bitter, so I was kind of turned off. Kale has taken a very bad beating. I showed you that in the last video. But I might trim it down, you know, all those beat up leaves all the way down to just like the tiny new growth. And I might just leave those tiny leaves on. And hopefully by the time it grows back, the white moths will be done. But who knows? Swiss chard still going strong. I think next year or even this fall, I'm going to plant a lot of that Swiss chard because I like that. It's mild, it's tender, and it does really well. It's pretty pest resistant, so that's one of the good things I like about Swiss chard. Collards, yeah, they took a pretty bad beating. I didn't spray anything this year. I think I might have sprayed once, but I didn't really spray anything this year. Peppers, like I said, they're not doing as beautifully as the one in the pot, which is pretty surprising because there's more. I had put more nutrients in this bed than I did that pot. But they are getting peppers. Like these are the banana peppers. So I am getting some now. And it's going to be 80s, upper 80s pretty much all week. The rest of this week, the weekend, and into next week. So maybe the heat will do some justice for my peppers and my watermelon. So I'm really hoping for that. Jalapenos are good. I harvested some of those and I made a jalapeno popper stuffed chicken. It was really good. Really good. So over here we have plenty of green beans to harvest. I haven't been out here in a couple weeks, so there's probably some pretty big ones here. So I want to get that done. So yeah, looks like everything's doing as well as to be expected with this weather. I did chop down all this lettuce that was going to seed. So I set those stalks aside, and I will be collecting the seed off of that. But I guess I guess I can't complain too much, because I didn't expect any zucchini, and I didn't really expect too many squash, because it looked like all the ones that were coming out were not getting pollinated. So I pretty much gave up on the squash and zucchini. So, but I have a lot of pollinators out here. Like, look at this guy here. He's looking for flowers. He looks a little scary, but he's not looking for me. He's looking for flowers. So, but I notice a lot of pollinators over here by the watermelon all the time. So I'm happy for that. Here's another guy. Pollinator. I shouldn't be pollinating these weeds. Instead, I should be pollinating my flowers or my cucumbers and stuff. But there's enough of them out here. I see them out here all the time, all day long. So I don't see a lot of flowers on my tomatoes, which tells me I probably should feed them again. I don't remember the last time I fed. It was probably during that last video that I made. I'll have to go back and check. They're probably due for another feeding. Everybody's probably due for another feeding. So, and you know what? Come to think of it, now that I mentioned the feeding, maybe that stuff actually worked. Maybe that fertilizer actually worked to stimulate some production, because I didn't see anything before I fed the plants with that. So that could be it. That could very well be it. So I will probably later on this evening, when the sun goes down or is going down, take some of this rainwater in my watering can and put some fertilizer in there and feed them again. But that's it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. I just really was happy to see that zucchini. I love zucchini. My husband loves zucchini. And after last year's harvest of all that zucchini I had, I really was expecting a lot more. So the one that I do have, I'm very grateful for. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. If you have any suggestions, they're more than welcome. So yeah, until next time, hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your gardening season. I hope you're starting to plan for fall. I have my seedlings still doing good in the sunroom. I got some bok choy and some other things. I need to get some radish put out. But with the heat going to be, in the upper 80s, I'm not going to put any fall seeds out just yet. But like I said, like, subscribe, comment. Suggestions are always welcome. Hope you guys are having a blessed day and a happy growing season. Okay, guys, I'm back really quick. I'm out here harvesting. I'm harvesting the green beans. I got those nice, beautiful red cherry tomatoes. I got that tomato that I said I was going to take, some chard, and some peppers. So I'm ready to walk out of the garden, and then, I don't know if you can see him, this little guy was like right behind me. He was like right behind me. He's one of my bunny buddies. Call him a bunny buddy. He doesn't bother my garden, so I don't bother him. There was 2 of them, but now I only ever see 1. So he's like right behind me all of a sudden, and he's got this mouthful of grass, dead grass, that I have kind of around my compost pile. And I'm like, where did you come from? Like, how did you just come all of a sudden? Like, where? I was like standing right over here by the chard. Let me switch that. There we go. I'm standing right over here by the chard, and I'm working my way this way, and then all of a sudden he was like right there where that pile of leaves is. I had just pruned all of the dead and diseased leaves from the zucchini, and he's like right there with this mouthful of grass, and I'm like, hey, like, where did you just come from? I didn't even hear him like scurry across the grass or anything. He was just there all of a sudden. So I'm standing still. I don't want to make any moves because I don't want to scare him away. So I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to hurt you, whatever. And he's like coming closer and closer to me. And I'm like, wow, he's coming closer and closer. But the reason was because of this. He has made a little rabbit hole in my garden. Isn't that crazy? Like, he's got this little rabbit hole going on there. So that's what he's doing with that grass. Maybe it's a she, I don't know. But yeah, I was like, wow. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, as long as it's not harming my garden, I guess I don't mind. But once I start my fall garden, it's going to be a lot of leafy greens out here. And I'm a little nervous that he or she might get a taste for those leafy greens. So I'm not sure how I feel about him or her making their new home here. Because that bush right there, this one, the far one, that's where I usually see it, like right around, you know, around the base of that bush. So I'm assuming that he or she has been living in that bush, because every time I come outside, he's like right there in the grass, just kind of around the bush. When we come down the driveway, it, you know, he or she, it just sits there, doesn't move. It kind of backs up closer to the bush, but doesn't really move. So I'm thinking that that is where its home has been. But it's trying to relocate now here in the garden. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't think it's safe anyway, because this grass is going to get mowed sooner or later. It's gotten out of control again, so I don't know if this is such a suitable place for them. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that real quick because that was kind of crazy. All right, have a good day.